Okay, moving on. Here's everything we know about alien life on the planet Mars based on the spirits of the
Okay.
people who have lived there.
I bet I know what it's going to say because Mars has for a long time been associated with war. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
warlike. So these are, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so
Hit me.
Emanuel Swedenborg, famed scientist and anatomist and inventor and mining engineer, has these spiritual experiences, travels in the spirit to go meet the spirits of people who have lived, he says, on the planet Mars. What they look like when he first meets them, he says they have a two-toned face. So tan on the upper part, black on the lower part. Sort of sounds like facial hair or something.
Yeah.
Here's
Right.
here's him describing an encounter. He says, the spirits from Mars are among the best of all spirits from the planets in our solar system. Most of them are of a heavenly nature, not very different from the people who constituted the earliest church on our planet.
Mm.
When I was shown images of their qualities, they were represented by a face in heaven and a body in the world of spirits, and in the case of the ones who were angels, by a face turned to the Lord and a body in heaven.
Mm. So even the sort of pre-heavenly ones have a head that's in heaven and a body in the world of spirits, which is already a very high state. So it's has nothing to do with it, with what like Greco-Roman mythology has to say about Mars. These are the sweetest, gentlest people. Almost every, in Venus he says is divided. There's a divided culture.
Yep.
Some people are gentle, some people are harsh and wild. But here, almost all of them are heavenly and just beautiful people.
And this
And
gives
the best in the, whatever that means, but like the best, they carry it with pride. Best in the solar system.
this probably somebody who's not familiar with Swedenborg heard those sentences and was like, I don't like. Let me rewind that back. I don't understand a thing that just came out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And this shows a little bit of the nature of the experiences Swedenborg gathered this information through. And what he says is the nature of spiritual communication. There's this imagery that how does he learn
Yes.
the character of these spirits from the planet Mars? It's by not even by they come up and tell him, or that he's handed some kind of fact sheet, or there's like spiritual Wikipedia, he reads about it. He sees a portrayed image, which is this body and this face, rising up into heaven. And he knows, because he knows correspondences, which that's the universal spiritual language,
Yeah.
that what that means as a commentary on the character of these spirits. And that's how he knows that they're good.
It seems like it's all been condensed into a 3D image, which is a very quick way to communicate. Let me show you literally what that looks like. Here's a person with the face, and
Yeah.
I mean, it is amazing, isn't it?
You know where that happens? Where you've seen that happen? Dreams.
Yeah, that's right.
According to Swedenborg, the same language that is being spoken to him there, of symbolic imagery, that's the language in dreams. This is why you have all these bizarre combinations of things happening in dreams.
Yeah.
This house is my house, but it's not really my house, and I'm with these people. I don't know why I'm with them, and then this thing happened. Those are correspondential communications, because that's the spiritual world talking to you through your dreams. That's also the language the Bible is written in.
Yeah.
This is why the Bible just will sit there forever and tell you about the tabernacle had 3 different layers to it.
How many hooks were there on those? 11 on this side and 10 on this side, and the
Yes.
11th hook connects to the other
Because
curtain.
it's telling you about heaven and how to be a good person. Just like this body face thing that he saw is telling him about the character
Right.
of these spirits.
And everybody on our planet, I guess every planet, the dreams that we have are teaching us a language, or they're expressed in a language. So when we get to the other side, we already know that language because we dreamed in it every night.
Going on. Spirits from Mars came to me and connected themselves to my left temple. People saw the title and thought, this is going to be weird. They weren't. Like, no. You don't know what you're getting into.
Know. You don't even know what weird is.
There, they breathed communication toward me, but I could not understand it.
Oh, so he could tell their community. They attached themselves to his temple, the side of his head, and he can tell something's happening, but he doesn't get the content.
And again, we said in the beginning of this show that the human form is the schematic or the index,
yes.
the table of contents for all of reality.
That's
so
right.
Every human, because it is the sum total of everything useful that can be done. If you think about any good activity you can do, you find its analog in the body.
Yeah.
If you're a police officer and you're trying to contain harmful behaviors and keep people safe, there's an analog to you. It's a white blood cell in the body or something like that is trying to do the same thing. If you're somebody that nurtures little baby, there's an analog probably somewhere in like mitosis or meiosis. When a cell divides, there's little proteins that make sure, whatever it is, whatever good thing you can do, there's an analog to that in the human body. And so it is when these particular spirits approach Swedenborg, the place they connect with him has to do with where he and they both relate to humanity as a whole.
Yes. That's right. That's right.
It's crazy. The flow of their communication was very gentle. I had never felt one gentler.
How does he tell there's communication going on? It's like, this is the gentlest. I'm not getting a word of it.
Hello.
But it's the gentlest.
Like the softest of breezes. It first reached my left temple and the top of my left ear, then moved on toward my left eye and gradually extended further toward the right and flowed down, especially from my left eye, toward my lips. And once it reached my lips, it followed a course into my mouth, and from a channel inside my mouth, the Eustachian tube, in fact, it went into my brain. When the breath of their communication arrived there, then I became able to understand what they were saying and respond.
What a wild experience. So it's just like, what is happening? It's going to my eye. It sounds like some sort of strange fluid, or sometimes when they give you iodine for a CAT scan or something, you feel like you flush with this warmth. All of a sudden you feel this heat in your body.
Yep.
There's something's going on where he's feeling this, and then gets to his brain and goes, oh, I'm getting content now.
Now I can understand.
It got to the translator, and now I'm getting it.
There's information in the way that it moves through his body. This is again like the language of correspondences, but he doesn't know it. It's beyond his knowledge. But finally, when it gets all the way in, he can start to understand what they're saying. He goes on again to talk at length about what these Mars spirits are like. Any of you can go download Other Planets for free, read the rest of it. He says, I'll give a few summary points of it. They don't communicate through sound. They do it with silent mental imagery. They use
so cool.
Facial.
And again, we're sort of more used to that idea now that we can have visual, like in movies and so on, telepathic communication or that sort of thing. That's an idea in our minds now. But I don't think that was around back then. The idea of just sort of, let's communicate. Are you seeing what I'm sending you?
It's standard for aliens now, like Independence Day, like one of the original blockbuster alien invasion movies. Oh, that alien goes, and you're like, oh no, but I can hear its thoughts when it does that.
Yeah, and I think part of that is because there's something in our spirits that has a sense that works. It can work that way.
Yeah. So Mars spirits would never think one thing and say another. Like there's no hypocrisy with them. They don't even know what hypocrisy and deceit are. There's a naivete to them. They have open communication with heaven. They don't have governments, but they live in communities with similar dispositions, and so on and so on.
And so when the Swedenborg says elsewhere about the Mercury spirits, that they love to rove all over the whole universe and find out who's out there.
Yeah.
So when they get to Mars, they're like, no government. Fascinating. Okay. Download.
Yeah. Mars is more gentle and more like a little just like, I love you.
And kind of Aboriginal in the sense, sort of a golden age lifestyle.
Yeah, he says they enjoy communicating with each other about what's going on in their communities, and especially about what's going on in heaven. This is the second planet that we've gotten to, or maybe the
It's
third,
communicating with heaven. Yeah.
where they're pretty aware of the existence of an afterlife and what's going on with heaven. Like Swedenborg wouldn't have stood out at all on these other planets.
No, that's right. Right.
It's like people used to be in this world.
Yeah.